Oh God, it started with me. It's not supposed to start with me. It's a weird feeling. I don't like going on first. It's strange. What am I supposed to do? Oh, sweet baby Jesus, what am I supposed to do? Wait a minute. I think I'm supposed to do this. What's up, Havenites? It's your boy Alan. I got a solo adventure tonight. Josh had some prior arrangement that he had to see to, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna go live anyway. We may have a couple of our brethren coming on here in just a little bit. I'm not sure. They've got the links. Hopefully, we'll see them soon. So, what is going to happen tonight? Your guess is as good as mine. I got something on my lip right there. Got to bust my lip open. I don't know what that is. That's pretty bad looking. All right. A little behind the scenes stuff. So, what are we going to do tonight? Well, we're still going to talk comics even without Josh. Hopefully, if our boys can jump on here in a little bit, we'll talk to them about some comics and some stuff they've got going on. We'll just have to wait and see. Some of it's really going to depend on y'all. This could be an average stream or it could be an extremely short stream. It's really going to depend on what y'all have to say. One thing that we're definitely going to do is we will go over the League of Comic Geeks stuff here in just a little bit and see what's coming out this week and see what's coming out next week. See what we're going to be excited for, what we're doing. What up, Bill Fisher? Glad you could join us. As you can tell, I'm without Josh tonight. Hey, I heard you were looking for a particular number one. Is that true? I wouldn't mind having that number one myself, to be honest with you, just for nostalgia purposes. And I do believe we have Void Rivals issue number 2 coming out this week, Bill. So that's something to look forward to. We will have to wait and see. I'm going to go ahead and get logged into League of Comic Geeks. I'm not prepared on any level whatsoever, y'all. I'm just kind of winging it tonight. This is what happens when you're the Lone Ranger. One thing about it is tomorrow we do have a new episode of the Pull List coming out. Be sure to check that out. I will have it uploaded. One thing I'm curious about, and y'all leave it in the comments either on that video or on this video, what do y'all think is a good time to release the Pull List on Fridays? I'm kind of curious. I mean, I've toyed with different times and everything. I really don't, really don't know. Well, I mean, what do y'all think? Y'all let me know. One thing that we can do is we will go ahead and we'll cover some comics right quick to see if our boys are going to jump on. Then if not, we'll just jump on League and see what they've got going on. Hey, I made fun of Dustin Ellis, not to his face or anything, because I'm not that mean. But I always kind of thought that these were lame. I always wondered why Dustin Ellis liked these things so much, the store folios, and it is great. I'm so glad I bought this thing. So, Bill, you're thinking around 11-ish. You think lunchtime would be good? I can do that. I have noticed that the way YouTube is working now, that whenever I upload a short, I've actually got to schedule it it'll be live for almost 6 hours before it seems like it gets pushed. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So if you start seeing some wonky times, we'll release it at 11. I think one thing, I'll release it at 11 tomorrow, but I think one thing that'll help is if when you hit the notify me thing, so you'll get the notification, maybe that'll help it show up a little bit quicker. I'm not sure. That's just something we're going to have to toy with for now. Oh, man, I had a piece of tape break. Is there tape here? No, there's not. No, there's no tape. But let's go ahead and get started, and I will show y'all kind of what's going to be going on tomorrow with the Pull List. Right off the bat, we have Death Dealer, issue number 14. This was another solid issue, and I do cover this in the Pull List video for tomorrow. I know a lot of people tend to shy away from independent comics. Y'all are really missing out if you're shying away from independent comics. Death Dealer, ultimately, for the past 14 issues, the past 14 months, Death Dealer has been the perfect sword and sorcery book. It's been Iverson has been doing a fantastic job with it. Opus Comics has been doing a great job with it. I feel like that they are making Frank Frazetta proud with what they're doing with the characters and the story. We do find out who Mesh, the child, I say Mesh, it's like MESS. So I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. We do find out that he is actually the dreaming god, and that's why the forces of evil are wanting to kill him. And that's also why Death Dealer is protecting him. This has just been a fantastic read. Definitely not a read for kids or anything. I would not, recommend it. My 17-year-old, if he wanted to read it, I think he would be just fine reading it. But also at the same time, it really depends on your child, what you think your child was handled. I personally do not recommend it for kids, though. If y'all will bear with me, what I'm going to do right quick is I am going to, hey, one thing that would help us out a lot is if y'all would share the stream out. Share the stream to your friends, colleagues, anybody that you think that is into comics. That would help us out a lot to help grow the channel and grow the community. I'm actually need to jump on here because I am about to practice what I preach, and I am going to share the stream out myself. We got a IG group chat going. I'm gonna go ahead and share it to the Forgotten. That's what that was named that before I got there. I think it's a cool name. Live now. And you know what? We're gonna go ahead and slap it on the old Twitter. So if y'all, and another thing that actually really helps the videos and stuff, if you do watch on YouTube, is if you would hit that like button. The like button, believe it or not, the thumbs up does help the videos a tremendous amount. Oh, come on. All right, so I shared out the video. Hey, y'all share out the live stream. Let's see what happens. All right, next up, Josh was talking about this book last week. I picked it up on his recommendation, and I'm so glad I picked it up. It was not what I thought it was going to be. The book was absolutely fantastic, and that is The Hunger and the Dusk, issue number 1 by IDW. Basically, we have a war between orcs and humans, and there's another big bad on the horizon. I believe they're called the Vangol, something like that. Vangol. But that war is on the horizon. The orcs and the humans cannot survive this on their own. They've got to band together. And basically, we have a contingent of orcs and a contingent of humans that are going to meet, so they can kind of form a truce and get a game plan together. This is, like I said, this is not what I thought it was going to be. This was a solid book. I mean, I was shocked at how much I enjoyed this. And that's The Hunger and the Dusk, issue 1. In tomorrow's video, I do go into a little more detail. I'm just trying to keep it a little bit high level for now and try to blaze through these, because if our boys can jump on, like I said, it's going to be a little bit late. Hopefully, we'll see here in a few minutes. Next up, we have Dawn of DC Night Terrors, issue number 1. So if you have not read it, here comes your 3-second spoiler warning. 1, 2, 3. We got Zombie Sandman in this. And I don't mean the Sandman from, Dream and from Vertigo, Neil Gaiman's Sandman. I mean the old school Sandman, trench coat, gas mask, whole 9 yards. That was really cool that they brought him back. I'm hoping that before this is over with, we get the Question, and we also get maybe Constantine. I don't think Constantine really fits in this, but it would be nice to see Deadman, Constantine, Sandman, all team up together to go after it. It's fun. It's a brief interlude with what's going on with Dawn of DC. I am liking what Williamson's doing on the horror front. I have enjoyed that so far. So that is Night Terrors, issue number 1. Next, we have Wildcats, issue 10. And yes, you do see Grifter kissing Zealot. On the Earth that Grifter's on, him and Zealot were actually married. And that Earth's version of Grifter gets killed. She pretty much goes insane, takes everybody out. He's now stuck here. He knows that they think that his only way home is to kill this Earth's version of Voodoo. That's what he's going to have to do. The release of energy should send him back to Earth Prime, where he belongs. The Wildcats have pretty much been cornered by Halliday. They do have a benefactor that's trying to help them. They just got to go work for him. Halliday is a part of the Court of Owls. I can't remember if this was going to be 10 or 12 issues. I'm hoping it's 12 issues because I'm hoping we get a really massive battle between Wildcats and the Court of Owls. For any Wildcats fans out there back in the 90s, this is exactly what you wanted it to be. It's fun. It's nothing too in-depth that you're just, having a hard time keeping up with. Grifter's doing what Grifter does. Zealot, my thing that I think I like the most about it is Deathblow, his memories, his essence, his soul, whatever you want to call it, is now inside of Spartan. For those of you that don't know, Spartan is actually an android. It's worked really well. I have enjoyed it. There's been a couple of cool little cameos. I love, there was one issue that Superman was in a little bit of it. There was, we've had Backlash for a couple of issues, which it's always fun seeing Backlash. I'd like to see more of him either doing his own solo thing or part of the, Dawn of DC. It's probably not going to happen because I think he's kind of a, no offense to anyone, but I think he might be a little bit of a lesser character that some of us old heads care about. But I don't know if it's going to be like a big oversized trade when it comes out or anything, or maybe 2 trades busted down. Definitely worth picking up if you're a Wildcats fan. A good comic read, some good art. It's just been fun. You don't feel like you've wasted your money on any level. Next up, we have Alien issue 4. So the mama in this, yeah, she's not all there. Basically, they're trying to escape, and in issue 3, you see her inject herself with something. She's pregnant. You find out in issue 4 that what she actually injected herself was, I'm assuming, is like the DNA or a sample of the xenomorph. She's trying to smuggle it out. We all know that that's going to go bad, and it went bad, and it went bad quick. Her daughter is pretty much on her own now with the Weyland-Yutah Corporation are still fighting what's left of them. There's been a couple of really cool back characters, a couple of really cool side characters. Well, there's one that I cannot think of his name, but he gets all tore up fighting a xenomorph, and he's wearing like bandages all over his face. He's a really cool character. I kind of hope he survives. I wouldn't mind seeing more of him in the future. And then the fiance, stepdad, whatever he is for the little girl now, he has found a way out of where he was trapped. And yes, he only has one arm. He's an amputee. But let me tell you what, that does not slow him down. Old boy is doing everything he can to get that girl out of there, and he is going straight up, nothing but a hammer in his hand, fighting xenomorphs. And in the beginning, I felt like he was kind of a throwaway character, and now I'm like firmly on this dude's side. Handle your business, kid. But Alien issue 4, it's the Alien books are kind of, Marvel's kind of doing like the Mad Cave AWA style of 4 to 6 issues, then take a break. 4 to 6 issues, then take a break. With Alien, since basically, let's be honest, we Alien fans, we're ultimately just want to see a good xenomorph story. We could care less if anybody actually survives. That's kind of not the point. Well, they've done really good at that. Once this 6 issues ends, we'll probably get about a month off, maybe 2 months, and then we'll get 6 more issues with all new characters. Just another story in the saga. I love what Marvel's done with that. That's been a lot of fun, and it's kept it from getting stale. If you're an Alien fan, I say that this is a must read. What do we have next? We're going to drop those 2 down, and we'll bring this one up, and then we'll go here. So about a month ago, Tom Price said, was like, hey, you need to check out this Rocketeer one-shot. 3 stories, one-shot. It's really good, some good art and everything. I was never a big Rocketeer fan. I enjoyed the movie that came out in the 90s. That was about it. But I went ahead and picked it up on Tom's recommendation, fell in love with it, thought it was great. Well, last week, Rocketeer Den of Thieves issue 1 come out. I thought, hey, you know what? I like the one-shot. Let's see what's going on here. So I picked it up to give it a try, and I really enjoy it. If you need a break from the typical superhero stuff that we get, and I don't mean that derogatory in any way. You know, if you need a break from the DC, the Marvel, or any superhero thing, is this guy a superhero? I guess it really depends on if we want to argue semantics or not. He's ultimately just a dude with a jetpack, a really cool helmet, and a badass flight jacket. It's been fun. It's definitely got that old, because I think it takes place in like the 30. Well, it takes place in the 40s because they're fighting. He's fighting Nazis in that time frame, or what should be that time frame. Unless I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, y'all point it out and tell me I'm wrong. But it's got that nostalgic feel. It's got a throwback feel. It kind of feels like the movie, to be honest with you. If you were a fan of the movie, I think you would like this also. And this just started. I don't think it's going to be an ongoing series. I think it's just going to be a mini series. But it's been really good so far. Kind of, yes, he does fight Nazis, but at the same time, it does feel a little bit lighthearted. We're not going too in depth on stuff. So I say, kind of give it a shot and see what you think. Next up, we have, and Josh talked about these last week, and I've read them now. We have the enormous 25th issue of Moon Knight. That is a great cover with him hiding behind the cross and everything. This particular issue, we're kind of getting some flashbacks to when he was part of what was, when I say he, I mean Mark Spector, when he was part of what was called the Karnak Cowboys. They were a mercenary team for hire. You pretty much hired them. They did whatever you needed them to do. This was before he met Raoul Bushman. This is before he became Moon Knight. We're getting some flashbacks to that. Also in this issue, he's not going to wait on Black Spectre to come after him. He's going to go after Black Spectre, which is a series of traps that he's having to fight his way through and a lot of stuff that he needs to get done. It was a really good read. I enjoyed it. I think what McKay is doing with Moon Knight is fantastic. You should definitely check it out. Yes, it's the 25th issue. Yeah, you could go back and pick up all the back issues. I personally recommend just getting the trades if you're wanting a good story. Moon Knight has been solid since day one of McKay's run on it. Let's turn this down because it's getting on my nerves. The art has been really good, which does lead us to the next one, which is Moon Knight City of the Dead. Yes, that is the variant cover. That's not the normal cover. The reason why I say this leads us to this is it's almost like this is like a side quest, and it's a really good story. And oh, wait a minute. So I've always wondered, before I do City of the Dead, I've always wondered if what I heard was true. And I think it is true, but we're going to put it to the test. They say that if you say his name 3 times fast, he will appear. So let's see what happens. Nick. Oh, look at him. He's there. He's there. Y'all know he's there.
That didn't work at all.
Hey, Nick, at all? Hey, Nick, you know what I did to bring you on the stream? I used one finger and one finger only.
Good old-fashioned pinky finger, huh?
Yes, sir. There's only a few people that get that joke, and it's the one it needs to stay that way.
Oh, do you guys want to see a really cool new statue I bought? Hold on.
While he's doing that, so basically in City of the Dead, Moon Knight is going to protect a little boy who's he's being ran down. You know, it's a sacrifice. They're wearing like Anubis masks and everything. Look at that. But the boy ends up getting hurt, and Moon Knight takes him to Hunter's Moon. Hunter's Moon is a doctor by trade. He does save the boy's life, but the problem is he died, and only his body survived. That's all he was able to bring back. His soul has already moved on to the City of the Dead, and Moon Knight's like, no, that's not good enough. I'm going after him. I'm leaving this realm. I'm headed to the City of the Dead, which that's actually been really cool because he's running into some of his old foes that he's killed in the past. This was a fantastic read. I think y'all would really enjoy it. And we lost Nick. Hopefully Nick will be back here in just a second. And I think Nick is back now.
Sorry.
And then a quick one, since a lot of people have mentioned this. My throwback pick of the week is Star Wars: Heir to the Empire #1, first appearance of Thrawn. Why? Just because everybody's kind of all tore up over Thrawn right now.
So you picked that up?
Do it. Actually, this was one that I dragged out of my collection and sent it off to get graded. Yeah, I picked it up brand new in 1995.
Hell yeah, that's a good book.
Yep. I did have 2 of them, and one of them this one come back at a 9.0, and the other come back as a 9.2. And I sold the 9.2 to Spinner Rack.
Oh.
So, and to be honest with you, I'll probably end up selling this one sooner or later.
Didn't even offer it to me.
Well, I mean, this one right here is available.
Not now. You got to hold that one, man. You got to hold it for a while. Smell it, sniff it.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not a flipper anyway, so.
So, should we show everybody my wonderful new statue, my new pickup? Boom! Look at that. Look, perfect.
Yeah, keep him turned that way. It's perfect.
No issues at all. Although, I think, Alan, we should modify it a bit. What do you think? And what I'm thinking is maybe we take some of this, pop this bad boy off right here, and then securely fasten it as it should have been from the original factory.
What's up, Jeff?
Don't you agree?
Yeah. What's up, Warlord? That was just a magnet that was holding it on, wasn't it?
Yeah, little bitty tiny magnet. Look at that.
Yeah, that's not a really good quality.
Well, honestly, better than you would expect if it drops too hard.
Yeah.
Look, now it's going to be secure forever.
So did you look underneath the shelf?
Bro, we looked everywhere. Everywhere. And all we missed is hold on. Right here. Look at that. Little bitty stanky panky. It's okay. Honestly, though, I was pretty upset.
What's up, Madison?
At the time, I was pretty upset. However, I think it's going to be fun, right? Because what I'm going to do, and I probably shouldn't have glued it just now. That was dumb, Nick. Because what I want to do is I'm going to come in and fix all the little cracks, I think. But it's going to give me a really cool opportunity to do some, like, model. What do you call it? I don't know, fix the pinky. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repaint the whole thing after I fill in the cracks and stuff. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. Pretty cool little thing. Maybe I'll do like a super Silver Surfer black take on it.
Yep.
Maybe like a dark chrome, like a dark blackish chrome. All in all, though, yeah, don't drop your statues on the floor.
Hey Jeff, congratulations, dude. I know that I have fun when I complete a run. My problem is I'm working on 2 extremely big runs right now, so it's going to be a while before I complete either one of them.
What are you completing?
One that absolutely nobody cares about except for me and Josh. I am working on the complete G.I. Joe run. And yeah, I'm not saying that I'm working on the run, but I am working on the run. Before it's all said and done, I will own every single Daredevil comic book. So what's up, Phil? How you doing tonight? Hey, while we've got a few extra people on here that don't normally watch our show, we have managed to get Haven up to 484 subscribers. We are 16 away from the big 500. So if anybody's feeling generous, jump on over from the Two Brothers show, and because we're simulcasting between Two Brothers and Haven tonight.
Yep, it told me it had the option, so I just did it. I think you gave me the option, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it gives that option now when you share that link.
Okay, if you don't want it to share, I will delete it.
No, I'm fine with it sharing.
Okay.
Try to build this thing up a little bit more. I had made a comment last week. I thought it was funny. And I wasn't trying to be funny. I was joking around with Josh. I said, yeah. I said, one day we're going to be up there. It'll be Comic Tom, Comics with Bueller, and Haven Comics.
That's right.
And we kind of talked about Comics with Bueller, and I didn't realize his following was as big as what it was. Well, a few days later, there was a comment on that stream from Bueller, and all it said was Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. So I'm like, okay, cool. Apparently, somebody told him we was talking about him.
Yeah, Bueller's Travis is a fantastic dude. He was in Huntsville last year, and all he did was go to the shop that shall not be named.
Yep.
And I don't think I was around when he was in town. But hopefully, when he comes back through, if he ever comes back through, maybe to like MegaCon or something, he'll stop by and go to a real comic shop, Haven Comics. But he has to do so on a Saturday so he can meet Joshua.
He pretty much just kind of, is he retired or something?
I don't honestly, I don't know. But he's living every comic book fan's dream, just traveling around, going to comic shops, conventions, getting screwed by whatnot. You know, the norm.
That would be fun. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do the special missions. I want the main run, 1 through 50, 155, the Marvel run and then the IDW run. I'm kind of up in the air if I want to break out from anything, like Devil's Due or Image or any of that stuff. Even though I know that when Kirkman and them start the new G.I. Joe stuff, it's going to be folded into the Void Rivals universe. So, I'll definitely be picking that back up. And Larry Hama is supposed to be picking up where he left off with issue 300.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I did see something about that.
Cool. Yeah, so I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be good. Alan, I think I finally found a comic book series I'm going to start reading again.
What's that?
Batman, Superman, Elseworlds.
Yeah, but those aren't new.
Yeah, they are. On 17.
They're on 17. Is that the World's Finest?
World's Finest. Sorry. My bad.
Gotcha.
My bad. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard it's supposed to be pretty good, so we'll check it out.
Nick, Mattis wants to know, did you get your Spidey books back?
Oh, from last year at Lexington Con? If so, it's funny you ask. Because, yes, they just came back in, Monday? Josh texted me? Tuesday? Maybe it could have even been yesterday. No. Yeah, it was yesterday he texted me, right? Texted us.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Y'all were going back and forth about that.
Let me read to you guys which books came back. And then we'll do a grade reveal. Let's see. But to be honest with you, they're just going to go back to Dustin to press and clean and resend real quick. Now that Dustin's pressing. So not only did my ASMs come back, but I have an Iron Man 1 that was sent off at the time. So Iron Man 1, ASM 14, ASM 31, ASM 50, ASM Annual 1, and then missing a few moderns, 94 and 238. But I swear I sent off Iron Man Submariner 1.
Yeah, Mark, Josh had a prior engagement and couldn't make it tonight, so Nick decided to jump on and bail me out. We've got to invite out to one Mr. Justin Birch. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it or not.
No, dude, he's Ringo Award nominated Justin Birch. He's not jumping on with us.
Hey, you know what? We're in his corner. He needs to jump on with us. I guess I do need to change my name now since I'm no longer the Lone Ranger.
Could be the Bald Ranger.
You know what? That's a good one. I'll go with it.
But yeah, so I don't know. I've heard a lot of people talk about Batman, Superman, World's Finest. I haven't read Fantastic Four in like a month. Really, I don't think I've touched a comic book in about a month. I take that back. I read it a little bit when I went to San Jose. But I've been reading the Jack Carr novels about the James Reese novels. So Jack Carr wrote it. It's about a character named James Reese. Have you seen the Terminal List?
No,
So it's a Chris Pratt show on Amazon Prime. Came out last year, and so I watched it. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty interesting," but I found out they were based on novels. So I read the first one while I was in San Jose. Now I'm going through the second one. I think there's 7 total, but they're going to come out with the second series once all of these overly paid actors decide to come back.
Check Instagram. I just sent you one.
What do you call it? decided to come back from their strike. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm having such a hard time with Fantastic Four. Trying to chug along through it.
What are you up to on Fantastic Four? What issue number?
It's not good. Like the reading of it is not good. Where do I not have Marvel? This is not good. I think the Marvel Unlimited app has oh nope. Okay. I thought it uninstalled. I have my iPhone set up to where if I don't open an app after X amount of time, it'll uninstall to save room, you know? So let's see. Immortal X-Men 29. No. I'm on 351. So like I'm less than 100 away from being done with the first volume, which I could finish that in, less than a week. But holy moly, these stories suck butt. I mean, it is terrible.
I think I'm only on issue 50 or 60 of Daredevil because I had no intentions of getting the Marvel Unlimited app until you started talking about it. And then you were talking about it, and you're right. I mean, it is the best way. I sent it to the. Oh crap! Hang on a second, Mark. My bad.
Be careful who you invite on here. You might end up getting really.
He can actually tell you more about World's Finest. I know that Bill has been reading it. He's really liked it. So that was just, I don't know. I just never really picked it up. I guess I kind of missed the boat on that one. So what about, and you're not going to read the new Fantastic Four until you're completely caught up with the others.
No, I got to wait. And honestly, I thought Alex Ross was writing that one. I found it today. It wasn't Alex Ross writing. He's just drawing it. And now we got Legion himself. What's going on, brother?
Just came here to spite Nick. He's always trying to cancel me, hold me back, silence me, restrict my words. Here I come.
Man.
I'm just be present.
I like it. No, Batman. Look, I'm over here talking about reading DC Comics, man. Batman, Superman.
You're looking for like a legitimately decent read right now, like modern reads or DC specific?
Just something to excite me again. To bring.
Did you
bring the? Look, I'm going through a Dustin moment right now. I need some.
I feel you. Just something that'll like put the spark back in you. Yeah. So the current one that was referred to, the World's Finest, that's out right now. Mark Waid is writing it, so it's not just some rube or anything. It's somebody with vast passion for what he's writing. That's the thing that makes a book good or not.
Yeah.
If a creator is able to put the passion onto the page, which Mark Waid, through his long standing in comics, his love of the characters, and his infinite knowledge of the individual characters he's working on, he can really do that. And he can do it like so few that are still working like he is. Like Peter David is another great one over at Marvel that you can tell he knows what he's doing. He loves the characters, and it's fun reading his work still after all of these years. Mark Waid's like one of those, but World's Finest is unique in the sense that it's not current continuity. It takes place in an unspecific time in the past. Dick Grayson is still Robin. So they're telling stories that were never told in a time era of comics that we all miss. Let's just be honest, And what they can do now is like there's guest appearances out the yin yang. We've had from the Doom Patrol to Green Lantern in the first arc, up to like the Metal Men, Red Tornado, Plastic Man. It feels like a legitimate event happening inside of a single comic run. And Dan Moore is on the art. You're more than familiar with him. Watching you and Dustin talk about Once and Future years ago is one of the first times I discovered Dan Moore, But it's some people just don't come along like every so often that are like Dan Moore that are built for what they're working on. Yeah. So it's a very unique marriage of the writer and the artist. It's a flawless comic. It really is. Well, different people's mileage may vary, but it's fun, self-contained story arcs, and they're actually important to the greater DC universe, but you don't have to follow that for World's Finest. It's feeding current continuity. That's how good it is.
Yeah, and see, for me, I've always been a massive fan of like Batman stories and things like that weren't necessarily a part of main continuity, right? So these Elseworld stories, those have always excited me. Things like that aren't, for whatever reason, I've never been into main continuity Batman. It's just I've never been able to get into it. I read New 52 and that was interesting. For a moment, until you probably know when was it? Until freaking Gordon became Batman and some
Batman.
like that. Yeah.
After Final Crisis.
Yeah. But other than that, like I've never been able to get into main continuity Batman, but I love the Elseworld stories. They're if I were to say some of my most favorite reads, it would definitely be a lot of those. So I was hoping, Court of Owls was like phenomenal. And then Death of the Family, where Joker, that was
took them all out, ended up in the bottom of the Batcave fighting it out.
Yeah, and then they all got mad at Bruce when they realized that he always knew that the Joker knew who he was.
Yeah.
That was a great one. And then as far as the new stuff is concerned, or I say newer stuff in Rebirth, City of Bane. City of Bane was freaking. See, I love City of Bane.
Who wrote that?
Say it, Nick. You know who wrote it.
That's Tom King, baby. Tom King.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't care for it. Like, I read a little, wasn't interested.
And I wasn't that big a fan of Tynan's run on Batman.
Dustin was, and I didn't understand it either.
Well, it seemed like we went through City of Fear for like 5 years. I mean, it seemed like everything.
Yeah, and then they turned him into, needing to be this, or what did they do to him after that? Shortly after they turned him into broke Batman and gave away all his money because Batman should be solving the problems with his money and not being Batman, because now being Batman's being a fascist, like all this other stuff, right? So, and I don't remember exactly what took place, but it was something along those lines, right? Where they basically took all of Bruce Wayne's money, used it for Gotham, and that's where he should have been, quote unquote, helping Gotham, right?
They try to pretend like he was broke while he's hopping around through multiple different caves, still has his resources, but he's just like publicly broke kind of thing. Yeah. But his run, Dustin fell off of his run too. I remember that was something that me and Dustin clashed heads on, because he was big on Tynan when that run started due to his other stuff. And by the second issue, after like 107 hit, I'm like, yo, this is just about to be a trash run, because I could see where they were just gimmicking it. They were using the main Bat title to use comic gimmicks on to sell excess copies instead of focusing on a story. And they just kept pumping new appearances and all these different printings, and like just let the run do the talking for you.
Man. I mean, the best runs I've ever read are always just because they're great, not because of these goofy goober things they do with first appearances and new characters that nobody cares about that are gonna, whatever. Like the best story, my favorite ones are always the ones that are just really cool, awesome stories.
For context, can you imagine if like the Miranda brothers, who put as much heart and passion into We Live, that didn't even catch steam until the series ended, if they were put on a main title? Someone like Daniel Warren Johnson being put on Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like someone who like just doesn't miss.
Yeah, and I don't get where we keep getting the folks that we are and how terrible it's been. Specifically with like Spider-Man, and I'm not gonna man. That. So Jeff, you're gonna love. Let me rephrase. I think if you're a massive fan of modern day Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man is probably one of the top 3 ASM story run lines, in my humble opinion. And if you didn't know, I've read all of Spider-Man. I'll say it once. Alan was Alan that likes to poke fun of me saying that kind of thing. But anyways. So it's a good story.
I poke fun of you about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, somebody made fun of me because I said that, and they were like, "No, if he actually read it all, he would tell you." I'm like, "Shut up! I only mention it when I need to." But it's a cool accomplishment. But anyways, so it was definitely refreshing to get to that point in ASM after 2 decades of garbage storytelling, and then they're coming out with a Superior Spider-Man Part 2 or whatever they're calling it in the fall, which I think that's just another. Like they're just bringing it back because ASM sucks so bad, and they're hoping to.
Yeah, we know Chip Zdarsky's not going to be writing it, and he did that little. What was that? I think they put it under a what if, like the Dark Spider. Or it might have just been a what if where they actually revisited the Superior Spider-Man, the life story. That's what. The life story, and they even go through Superior Spider-Man era in that. That's how impactful that run was. That it made it into like a little mini series highlighting all of the important parts of Peter's life.
Well, I think the only thing Zdarsky's writing right now is Batman, isn't it?
In his indie stuff, but he said that he's not going to be working at both companies simultaneously. because he wants to be able to give his all to the project he's on. He's not biased toward one or the other. He just wants to do honest work for either company he's working for at the time. That's why he's dropping Daredevil.
Yeah, and I hate that he's dropping Daredevil. His run on Daredevil has been so good. I like what he's done with Batman so far, but now I'm kind of wondering which direction we're going. I think he's already done a better job with Batman than what Tynan did.
Oh yeah, but you don't measure the quality by the worst. You measure it up against the best.
Yeah,
And I think it's just average. But I like that whole what was it called where you like after failsafe, you know how he hopped through time through dimensions from other Gotham. That storyline for me was super flat, but the ending and the payoff was fantastic.
Yep.
Like they actually cut the dude's hand off. Batman has one hand in main continuity right now.
Now, see, my thing, I can't remember which issue it was.
Intriguing.
But when he's spending, I wish we would have gotten more with him spending time with the other Batman from the other dimensions.
So for context, he fighting failsafe, which is just a Mazo. Like pretend Batman built his own Amazo just to shut himself down. So he can't stop it. And it ends with him taking a shot from failsafe, and it looks like he was like just disintegrated. Next issue turns out he wakes up in Gotham, but not his Gotham, a Gotham where Bruce Wayne not there, not alive, and there's familiar characters, different hierarchy. Like Harvey Dent is law enforcement, and him and the rest of the police force use Venom to enforce their fascist ways. And this guy who's running the city is the Joker, but not Jokerized. And he has this mission to tap into the multiverse and create him. He wants to become the Joker kind of thing. But they end up having this amazing issue. It was issue 900, where he's trying to get home and he's hopping through dimensions, visiting the Batman 89 universe and the Adam West universe. And he ends up in this fight literally having to cut his hand off. But when he lands in the Batman Beyond universe, with future tech, they're able to Luke Skywalker's hand, basically. But
was it Batman Beyond or was it Dark Knight Returns that did that?
Might have been Dark Knight Returns.
Hold on, this is one story, like one single issue?
This is a story arc. This is a 6-issue story arc. The big finale is them hopping through, like cameoing their way through different dimensions, trying to get home. And it was either, I think it was the Dark Knight Returns, when he actually sits down and speaks with old version of himself, and they're able to put the robotic hand on him for a second. He puts the glove on, and we get back, and we pretty much jump right into Night Terrors. So no one even knows that he has the robotic hand. No one really knows what he went through, what he saw, any of that yet.
So what are your thoughts on Night Terrors so far? Because Josh and I are divided on Night Terrors. I'm enjoying it.
Hold on. Because I'm trying to find what is the name of the story arc now? Because I'm very intrigued.
Batman issue 900.
Oh, of course it is.
Was the final issue of the story arc.
Yeah,
it's technically Batman issue 100 and something, but it's Legacy 900. I can tell you.
Of course it is.
Well, they used the finale of Chip Zdarsky said he's not doing like no long-term game-changing stuff like Tynan was doing. He's only doing 4 to 6 issue story arcs. People can get in, read a story, get out.
What is up with this goofy ass cover for 900? Really, of all things,
it's a milestone issue, so that wasn't the only cover, bro.
Well, I assume, but like that's the one that pulled up, and I'm like,
that's him fighting the Joker of that world that's trying to actually tap into the multiverse. That's why he's got a red hood, This is a Joker from a world where he's aware of other Jokers from other worlds, but there's none on his, and he wants.
You know what's crazy, man, is I didn't hear a word about 900, even like when Marvel Comics 1000 and stuff like that came out, like it was everywhere. I didn't hear a freaking word about Batman.
But you call that a goofy cover? That's one of the few books where the cover actually makes sense because of what's going on in the story.
And you see who did the cover? That's Jorge Jimenez, who everyone just absolutely loves. The Batman of Gotham. That's the name of the story arc. The Bat-Man of Gotham.
Maybe I'll read it tonight.
But Night Terrors, though, it's not a great story arc, like I told you. Like it was just the finale was a great payoff to it.
Yeah.
Just read 900. You got the setup. He wakes up in a world without a Batman, and he's trying to figure out how to get home. That's all there is to it. Literally all there is to it.
And Tim Drake is basically jumping from universe to universe, also trying to track him down.
There's backup stories in a lot of
Yeah.
these, like in old comic books and stuff, which is great because if they land, awesome. If they don't land, don't read them. But
The thing is that Tim Drake story was actually pretty good for a backup story.
And that's what everyone was saying. Like throughout that Batman of Gotham story arc, the Tim Drake was a more solid read than the main body was at the time. And that happens from time to time, depending on who the creators are. And a lot of times with the backups, you're getting some new talent and they're really trying to cut their teeth and earn their keep. You know, they're putting a lot of effort in. That's kind of what happened when they did Future State a couple of years ago. No one was excited for it. They restructured DC, shrank down, and brought in new talent, and all of them were thirsty. All of them were trying to eat. All of them were trying to prove themselves, and we got everyone got egg on their face, including myself. Like, I'm like, dude, this is insane how good this is. That's when like Dan Mora first drew Batman. Like, you know, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Rom V, like the big names right now, like all came in to DC in Future State. It's crazy.
So, you think the reboot's going well then right now, by the way? I meant to ask you that.
The Dawn of DC initiative.
I just had to throw the reboot out there somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna blow right past it. But in all sincerity, that question ties into what Alan was asking.
Yeah.
I think the Dawn of DC initiative that they're doing right now, where they kind of took some books back to issue number ones, same story, no restarting. It's a great jump on point, getting fresh story arcs, but no resets of characters or nothing like that. But it's actually ridiculously good.
Yeah, the Dawn of DC stuff is
good,
actually,
and that's why I was upset about Night Fears.
Wait a minute, is it me or is it y'all that's breaking up?
I think it was Mark for a second.
Okay.
I think it was me. There's a mad, crazy thunderstorm and crazy wind going on here. It's probably messing.
Well,
it's same here. Oh,
yeah, it's stretched all the way over here, so it's not going to get anybody any better because it's headed your direction. Yeah, the Dawn of DC stuff, as much as I hate to say it, because I've always liked the character, has actually made me care about Superman again.
Oh yeah, Philip Kennedy Johnson made everyone start caring about Super. Keep in mind, Superman's been consistently good for so long that right now, during the launch of the Dawn of DC, we have 6 super titles.
Yeah,
that's how long he's been good for. That they've been able to build back up to 6 titles, and those 6 titles are insanely good. From Superman Lost with Christopher Priest, Philip Kennedy Johnson on action, Joshua Williams on the main title. Kenny Porter is blowing everyone's mind with Superboy, Man of Tomorrow. Who thought that would be ridiculously solid? That's crazy. And you got the Steel book out right now, and that's probably
I've been a real big fan of Steel.
I like Steel as a member of the cast. I don't really. I mean, a better story would lend to it. The artwork's fantastic, but I don't really care about the politics of building the infrastructure of Gotham City or of Metropolis.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. Corporate espionage and stuff like that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not my cup of tea for a story. It just puts me to sleep.
Been revisiting some of my favorite Batman arcs. I'm currently reading 10 Nights of the Beast from '88.
Is that the one where it's like all in his head?
I think so.
10 Nights of the Beast. I believe that's the one where he's like, it's all in his head or something. It might not be.
So what I was going to ask last week when I popped on Alan for a moment, this whole DC Nightmare thing, and then the main character is Insomnia, which blows my mind because you have to go to sleep to have night terrors. So the main guy is Insomnia?
Yes.
KGB Beast.
So
the main villain is a character called Insomnia, whose these latent abilities were activated due to Lazarus effect. You know, they did that Lazarus Planet event, which
so
by the way was seeded in World's Finest, which takes place decades before in actual continuity time. But that's how important World's Finest is. They are seeding future events in that. But it's just wild. But he was an inmate at Arkham Asylum when the Lazarus Island has a volcano on it that erupted, and it put like Lazarus pit resin into the atmosphere that rained down, causing wild effects on people. And turns out Insomnia was an inmate at Arkham Asylum that it activated his ability to put people into the dreamscape, which was just confirmed here in week 3 inside of Wonder Woman, which was really a Justice League Dark issue. But Constantine confirmed that, we're not in our dreams. We're in the dreamscape. I thought this place was just a place of myth. This is more dangerous than we thought. So he's actually activating an aspect of the supernatural side of DC that we haven't seen before, which is super cool. That's one of the cooler aspects of this. It's very original. We're not beating a dead horse with this event at all.
So that is
what you think about zombie Sandman.
Oh, dude, I thought that was awesome. Wesley Dodd. I'm a Golden Age character kind of guy. He made the thumbnail for my DC Day video this past week. It's like, I love a good mystery. That was fantastic.
So Bill had actually asked, where did Bendis go? Does anybody know what he's doing now?
Last we saw him was Justice League. Justice League. He was doing that. He had that Gold Lantern Legion of Superhero 12-issue maxi that not even sure if it finished. But when we had the Infinite Frontier little time era, that little short-lived right after Future State stuff, he was on Justice League.
Then what else? Because see, I do everything a week behind on here, just so I'm not doing any spoilers.
Oops.
No, that's fine. Everybody will get over it. Wildcats. Are you reading that one?
Wildcat doesn't have a. Oh, you're talking about Wildcats. Okay,
Yeah,
I immediately thought of Ted Grant. I'm like, Wildcat don't have a series. JSA does come out a week from Tuesday though. But I'm picking up Wildcats. I'm not up to date on Wildcats. I'm a few issues behind right now.
It's been fun. I mean, it's been exactly what you'd expect Wildcats to be, the DC version of them.
Yeah, I like how they're playing with continuity in it. I thought that was one of the most creative things with Grifter going around referencing DC versus vampires. Like, how did the Wildcats get here? And he's like, I was on a planet and there's vampires everywhere. Then you reference Deceased in one of the early issues. But I think I'm on issue 4, so I'm like a considerate amount of issues behind. I thought it was only going to be 6 issues, so I held back for the final ones, and we're up to like issue 9 or 10 now.
Yeah, I think it's either going to be 10 or 12 issues, and what makes it so funny about him, you'll understand, because everybody kind of thinks that he's just basically talking shit, telling wild stories about this different stuff, but you'll understand later on that he's really not.
Well, in my mind, like I read Captain Atom Armageddon when it released. I know how they got here, but I'm excited to see if they're trying to play with that concept and do something differently now that we're into this more modern era. And now that they're looking at taking some of the Wildstorm characters and making them a broader known group of heroes like the Authority and stuff like that have been getting talked about by James Gunn and people.
That's one thing I know nothing about.
Warren Ellis, baby. Warren Ellis.
Wildcats.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Authority. Wildcats is something from our childhood, even. I mean, that's some early Jim Lee stuff at Image. I believe that was like his first series at Image. And on top of that, you know how like X-Men and Spider-Man were so madly successful, Batman the Animated Series, I'm surprised Dustin wasn't watching this because I damn sure was. But during like our childhood, the early mid-90s, everyone was competing for that X-Men fever. Mm-hmm. And you had series like Highlander, the animated series, Mortal Kombat, the animated series based on the third video game. You had Wildcats, the animated series. You can watch the entire thing on YouTube for free. It has one of the most entertaining intros. God sakes, even RoboCop had an animated series. The future of law enforcement. Finn loves those RoboCop cartoons from the 90s.
See, and Bill said that he really enjoyed Rosenberg's Joker Night Terrors. I hadn't read it yet.
Dude, there's been very few like I said, I had to eat crow with the whole Night Terrors thing. I've been so happy with the momentum, the steam, and the quality of what's been happening under the Dawn of DC banner that I didn't want to take a 2-month hiatus from it.
Yeah.
And I thought like the timing of this is terrible. Why didn't they put this in October for a Halloween type event? That would have been perfect. It doesn't feel like a full scale event because they've compressed the release down to just 2 months. There's going to be 4 issues of the main event, but it has bookends as well. It has an Alpha and Omega issue, making it a 6-issue event. And all the main character storylines are getting just 2 months of night terrors instead of the normal releases, and I was bummed about that. But then I started reading them. I'm like, oh my god, that was decent, that was solid. The main story is really good. What they're playing with is the topic is fantastic. And then we hit this week 3, and it's actually just building. And I'm reading 100% of it because I do a review show with a buddy that we do like the current events at DC kind of thing. So I'm reading ones that I wouldn't read normally. I wouldn't pick up Joker. I wouldn't pick up Punchline, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. But I honestly did not enjoy Joker. The first 6 pages I thought were fantastic when Batman trips up and falls to his death, and it was just hilarious how they're poking his body. But after he gets to the job, I'm like, all right, we just did 2 pages of him on the job, and you turn the page and you do the same joke again. You turn the page, you do the same joke again. Turn the page, you do the same joke again. Then you get a little tease at the end. I'm like, this book could have been half as long as it was and served the same purpose. But that just kind of bothered me because, again, I'm kind of like reading as a chore to a degree. I'm picking up all these extra books on Tuesday. I'm trying to read them by the end of the day so that I can be on time to do something. So I might not be the best reviewer of that. Poison Ivy was trash. Ravager was okay.
I love it.
I'm wondering why they're bringing Angel Breaker into it. I didn't think. I mean,
well, that's the thing. I'm not biased toward DC. I just enjoy DC more. I'll baptize a DC book in a heartbeat. Go watch that DC deep dive that I do on Sector 2815. Like, if it ain't good, I'm calling it out.
But you know what DC never misses on? Ever. I've never once. Okay, I take it back.
Suicide Squad.
No, it's their animated movies.
Oh, I thought we were talking about comic books. You haven't seen Catwoman Hunted.
No, and I was going to take it back because I also didn't like one of the more recent ones. It was like Super Twins or Super Sons.
Super Sons. Dude, I thought that was ridiculously fantastic. It's a standalone. It is 100% standalone.
I didn't like it.
It was written well. It had all those like moments of heart. Like now for me, it's not even in like it's in my bottom 5 because I don't like young John Kent. I like my John Kent to be 18 years old, interacting with a younger Damian because Damian has never been a kid a day in his life. Yeah. So for him to be hanging out with a 12-year-old son of Superman, that would be like us trying to have fun and enjoy hanging out with someone 20 years younger than us. It just wouldn't work. No, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense. You need John Kent to be older to get him near the same mental playing field as Damian.
Now, see, I would like to see more of the John Kent Nightwing stories like we got in the back of, I believe it was Nightwing, where he's basically teaching John Kent how to be a detective. I mean, I like those. I wouldn't mind seeing more of those with his interactions there.
Yeah, well, that's where him and his dad differ. That's one thing that's cool about John Kent Superman is he is not his father. His father, people don't think about it, but Superman's one of the smartest intellects on the planet because he actually takes the time to learn. You know, he has probably like one of the biggest resources of knowledge in the entire universe at the Fortress of Solitude and everything. And he ridiculously smart. John is not that. And in my opinion, going to Nightwing for those kind of advices is like, why are you even wasting your time?
Yeah, but I mean, that goes back to when Superman was basically told Nightwing, hey, I want you to look after him.
Yeah, I get that. That's what they said that he said, and that's what they decided that happened. But I can get it as needing like a fallback father. Like I've got my mom, but my mom's best friend that's I've known my whole life. Like she's known me since I was born. I look at her like a second mom. You got to have those secondary people like that. It's good for John Kent to have somebody in the superhero game that's like that. And it's really cool that it's Nightwing because if anyone's deserved those kind of benchmarks, it is Nightwing. Yeah, because like the writers decided that back in the 80s, we're going to age this character, we're going to grow him up. We're like he's earned it. So if the younger crews coming in, that's who they would look up to. They wouldn't look to Pappy and stuff like that. I love that the Titans are kind of the forefront team right now, and
that's been a good book too.
Yeah, best part of it is watching what Amanda Waller's been doing in the shadows. The Waller War is coming. It's coming. I've been telling people that for the past 2 years. They've been building this up for so long. She took over Earth 3 for God's sake. You think like deep cut readers are about to forget that? Last we saw her, she has her own crime syndicate. Like, no, she's coming back.
Yeah, we had Oslander on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he was fun to talk to about Suicide Squad and
Mhm.
Waller and all that.
Now I'm a huge Suicide Squad fan. That's probably my favorite DC team.
Interesting. I don't think
You
I've
need to
ever
go
heard
check out
somebody
that
say that.
short that I posted today. Then
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. You guys had what's his name on when I was in Denver Airport. I was just walking around.
You don't ever watch.
Yeah.
You should come hang out and watch my videos a little bit. Not like the uploads. Come hang out. Those are always funner.
It's just so hard to get to be able to do those things with my little girl. Like,
Mhm.
'cause you normally do your streams on Friday morning, which I
There's,
work.
there's 3
and
a
then you
week: morning, lunch, and dinner. It's Friday mornings. The new DC day is a lunchtime stream, and then Sunday nights.
Sunday nights is the other one. Yeah.
yeah, the lunchtime stream will probably be the easiest one for me to be able to watch.
That's the new DC day stream.
Yeah,
Because DC's lame and trying to change new comic book day. Oh, that's cool. That is really
nice.
Predates the Justice League. Which,
that's sick.
dude, if comic books ever like shift to DC like they did for Marvel while people enjoyed the MCU,
Mark's gonna be a millionaire.
fucking loaded. No, but that's funny you mentioned that about DC trying to change the game because they're just trying to make it better and for the customers at that. And I guess Image agrees with them because starting September on sale Tuesday, homie. I can't wait to go dig up those pictures of those petty variants that Marvel did that said on sale Wednesday. You remember those from a few years back?
Hell yeah, those were great. I think I bought some, and I probably just gave them right back to Josh last year. When basically what I did is I took most of my new comic book day books that I read once and have not done anything with, and probably never will, and I just took them back to Josh, and I was like, "Look,
Yeah.
I don't want to sell these. I'm running out of space. Have them back."
Nothing wrong with that. Make them a $1 bin or 50-cent
Yeah,
bin.
and so I was like,
get them back out there to people to read. That's what they're for.
But new comic book day is always going to shift around. I remember when new comic book day was on Thursdays. I remember at one point in the early 90s, new comic book day was on Fridays.
Oh, when they tried to, that's when they tried to leave Diamond, and that was so short lived. I think they tried to leave Diamond twice before, but Lunar was never around. And what's happened is everyone's loved Lunar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this when I'm sure you do, but when the lockdown happened and DC was starting to explore other options, it wasn't only Lunar. They were using 2 different distributors, testing both of them out, and Lunar's it's been fantastic for them. There's hiccups along the way with stuff. There always is.
Random House?
No, that's Penguin. That's what Marvel said.
Marvel's. It was the one that was it. Lunar's not the one that Midtown Comics actually.
I feel like it has something to do with the letter Q. It was like Quest or something along those lines or something like that.
I know what you're talking about though. Which one was being pseudo run through Midtown? It's basically just Midtown Comics.
A discount, whatever. Lunar is Midtown. Like
so everyone's doing good then.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Oh, real quick, back to the Batman animated or the DC animated ones.
Yeah,
they just came out with a new one. It's Doom That Came to Gotham.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Did you watch it?
Of course, Mike Mignola stories, dude. That had Etrigan in it. I'm there. The Demon is such a badass, dude.
I know. I don't know what his first appearance is, but I love him. I genuinely.
It would be the Demon issue #1 from 1974.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was just like 2 nose on the or two on the nose to assume it was that one.
Bill, I don't know if it was a mistake or not. I probably would, if it was me making that decision, I probably would have held off. I got that one at home. I thought was that, did I say a 4.0?
Yep. First submission I ever sent into CBCS.
Yeah, I think yours is a little better condition than mine is. I think mine will probably come back at about a 3. But Bill, I don't know if it was an actual mistake. I mean, I had no plans of picking up Hawk Girls to begin with.
I think it was a mistake to release Hawk Girl and Starfire during Night Terrors. Night Terrors, you're getting 5 to 6 Night Terror books a week. Yep. Granted, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but when you add like like we're about to have 6 Teen Titan books running at the same time. 6.
Jesus Christ. 6.
Now we have Tom Taylor is taking on Titans, which is main normal continuity. Again, this is so freaking good that they did a World's Finest Teen Titans. It goes back to like their
Yeah.
early days, and I'm not sure how many that's going to be, but Mark Waid's writing it. It was the shocker read of the week. I was kind of on the fence about picking it up. I'm like, it's in the past. It's hard to keep up with all the main continuity stuff right now because a lot of it's so important. Do I need this? And it was amazing. But you remember in the 80s how they did those Tales of the Teen Titan miniseries, like Tales of the Teen Titan Cyborg, and that was like his origin, all that. They're doing that again now. And the first one came out, so you had Starfire, you'll have Raven, you'll have Beast Boy, and they're only going to be 4 issues, but they are going to be overlapping, making us have World's Finest Titans, main Titans, and then those 4. That's a huge commitment.
That is a lot.
So I skipped them. I'm a mark for DC, but I'm like, they're meant to reintroduce people to characters or introduce new people to the character, add context. I'd like to think I'm fairly familiar with most of these mainstream characters. So
Well, you know, I mean, it's not hard to be a mark for DC because when you actually look at what they're doing, they're blowing Marvel out of the water story-wise. Marvel really and truly has Fantastic Four, Daredevil, Moon Knight, and Darth Vader.
You forgot one because Philip Kennedy Johnson single-handedly saved Superman from Bendis's era. Yeah. Now he's saving the Hulk.
Well, see, I'm not reading the Hulk.
Oh, there only one issue is dropped so far. Issue 2 will come out a week from now. Get it. Nick Klein's art with Philip Kennedy Johnson writing, and they're going straight back and piggybacking off Immortal Hulk. The green door's been shut. Hulk is not immortal. The monsters are coming back to reclaim their right. Like, they're no longer afraid of the Hulk. Yo, go get it.
I have to check it out.
So it's interesting you brought up the Hulk. Obviously, Donny Cates. But so nobody's heard from him, right? Apparently, he's supposed to be doing a panel at San Diego Comic-Con and talking about where he's been.
Are you going to be talking about recovery?
I guess. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, he's been doing Vanish.
But he already had that done.
Has he?
Well, I know that Stegman had to take over some writing. I just don't know when.
So Otley took over the writing for Hulk. Stegman took over for Vanish, and there was some of it already in the can that was just waiting to be released. And
Vanish was already done through Substack years before. They just put it through whoever it's putting through now.
So Vanish has been really good, to be honest with you. I've really enjoyed that one.
I couldn't jump into it. Like whenever it first started, I was intrigued, but then I was like, well, it's Donnie. It'll start off good, and then it's going to crash and burn. However, I have to take back everything I said about, and I've said this a couple times, everything I said about King in Black. After I went through and read all of ASM, and I saw some of the I guess you call them deep cuts, right? Some of the things that happened decades ago that he brought back into King in Black. It absolutely blew my mind. I was like, man, this guy knows and cares and loves comic books.
And that's the kind of stuff that people like Joshua Williamson, Mark Waid, Jeff Johns always do every time they write.
Yeah. So, but I mean, honestly, it'll probably still crash and burn at the end.
You have the Thor that goes with that?
No.
So I know that Thor
that got left at the comic shop
Haven right now. He could go get that Thor anytime he wanted it.
Yeah, all I got to do is drop it on the floor first. You know.
Hey, what you could do is break Thor's opposite pinky.
Yeah, just put it on this. So Mark, I was at the comic shop and he just got this in this week, and I was just rotating it like this, real carefully because I was checking out the price on the bottom. I had it straight up and down, and I was just doing this right. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, Silver Surfer was like, "Oh, this! I'm going to jump into the floor." And yeah, I didn't realize it was just a magnet holding on.
How much did you pay for that mistake?
We're not talking about it.
And but, Mark, the great thing about it was the door had not completely closed on Nick leaving Haven, and I started getting text messages from everybody that witnessed it.
Dude, they both were just like, and I'm cussing a storm.
That's like a $600 piece altogether, isn't it?
No, not even close.
With the Thor and everything with it?
No, it's probably half that, or 2/3 that.
You could just say 200.
No, 2/3 of 600 is $400.
Oh, 400. Yeah.
So this was not 400. It would be about half that.
Well, I mean, like you ruined the piece, taking 50% of it away from it. It's half a cover now.
Well, Josh had been. That's kind of what hurt my feelings the most. Josh has been waiting on this piece for about a year now or more, and it just came in, and it hadn't been in there a full week. And I go in there and I'm just looking at it, and I mean, looking at this thing, would you have assumed it was held up by a magnet? A little bitty ass cheap magnet too. I was pissed.
It looks like just one solid piece, really.
Yeah. And so whenever I jumped on the stream, I actually super glued it back. But yeah, so all I'm missing though, man, is a little pinky.
You couldn't find it on the floor?
No, dude, we were lucky we found the other 5 fingers and yeah, dude, it was bad. I was cussing because I was seriously considering just buying it anyways.
Hey, do you want to not to hop around, but if you're looking for like a really fantastic read, it's what Mark Millar's doing over at Image right now. He put out a 5-issue series called Nemesis Reloaded.
Oh yeah, I've heard about
it. It was a great concept because Nemesis was a miniseries he did back in the day. And what's interesting about it, it's his most lucrative miniseries. He's Unwanted was made into a movie. Kick-Ass made into a movie.
Oh, Mark Millar's a phenomenal
he did Jupiter's Legacy made into a television show. Nemesis never been made into anything, but everyone keeps buying the rights, never getting it put out, never getting it finished or get on its feet. Then they'll expire and someone else will buy it, and he keeps getting checks from it. And one day he thought, like, if I wrote Nemesis today, what would be different about it? So Nemesis Reloaded is volume 1 of Nemesis, but done differently how he would like to tell it today. And it starts out with, you think you know my origin, but that was a lie. This is my true story. And so, like, you don't even need to read the original, but you read that 5-issue miniseries, by the end of it, there's this huge kicker that he's bringing all of his properties together, all of those ones I just mentioned and more. And that book just came out this week, and it's called Big Game. So these are miniseries, but it's just, like you said, phenomenal writer. Like, if you want to see Jorge Jimenez's best artwork ever, check out Nemesis Reloaded, because he does good stuff in Batman. But this is like unrestrained, 100 miles an hour from start to finish, crazy twisted story. It's definitely R-rated.
Yeah, and I've read several of Mark Millar's stuff, their stories, and I think what actually kicked me down that path was Jupiter's Legacy. Now, I'll tell you, I wasn't really, I was intrigued by the show, but the story, the actual comic book, I read all of it. It was great for the most part. But then, I started going down the Millar world path, and then I got to like Kick-Ass, and I just, that kind of humor just isn't my thing. But other than that, like everything I've ever read that Millar's done has been just wonderful. But it's interesting though, because it's always been called the Millar world, wherever that's referred to. But it's interesting now that he's actually linking it together in continuity or whatever. So that's cool. Of course, now he's being canceled. So
the cover of Big Game has Wesley sitting in a chair surrounded by characters with Nemesis right behind him, like about to lead the charge. Why are they canceling Mark Millar?
Oh, because he retweeted a presidential candidate that, not everybody agrees with. He has his own independent thought.
Oh, then I feel like I should go buy more copies of his books then.
And I'm not talking about Trump. It's like it wasn't even Trump of all people. It was people.
I don't care. I don't care who it is. I don't care about politics, but I'm a big fan of everyone getting to have their own thoughts.
Yes, yeah, he is definitely kind of broken out and started to have his own thoughts, so to speak. Let me see. Mark Millar, and he's called Big what? Big Game?
Yeah, Big Game came out yesterday.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking on League of Comic Geeks now to see what all come out. Hey, have you read Night Terror's Superman or Nightwing yet?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about him?
I thought Nightwing was trash, but my buddy who reads Nightwing regularly enjoyed it. I thought Superman was fantastic. Like it was really solid, and it seems like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, rightfully so, are tie-ins that are playing more heavy than the rest into the main body of the story as well.
So, did you read Wonder Woman 800 with the Tom King story in it?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I cannot wait to see what he does with Wonder Woman.
And the 3 lassos.
Yep. That was so good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start reading through maybe Batman, Superman, World's Finest. I might check out Batman 900 because that seems super intriguing, but
Yeah,
also
it's just a one fun issue. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You have enough comics history knowledge that you'll have a blast with it.
oh yeah, and then I don't know. Now this Millar World thing really has me intrigued. But see, the other thing, man, is I got to finish the freaking Fantastic Four. I want to get it done by like September because that's when I started it. And if I can just finish it within a year, then I'll be happy and I can start something else that maybe will be better.
What is it he says in 900, Mark? Is it finally a Batman more prepared than I am?
Oh my god,
That was great.
that's funny.
My work shoes, dude.
That
Yeah,
is
you'll enjoy 900 because when you're reading through it and you start turning the pages and you start seeing all the different eras of Batman and the different versions, that's one. I mean, it was so good. It really was.
There's that big shopping center. They might have one.
Yeah, but I don't know. I might do this. I might go down the Millar World.
And you need to. If I see one tomorrow, I'm gonna throw a copy of Moon Knight: City of the Dead in your box.
They're about to kill Moon Knight. They're about to do a Death of Moon Knight storyline.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that's going to go. I mean, he's kind of the living embodiment of a god, you know.
I'm
It's
so
Constantine will bring it back if he wants him.
I'm so tired of this whole death of whoever. I mean, Miss Marvel, and then 5 seconds later, you know, now like not even 2 weeks after the death of her came out, now she's a mutant, which we all knew.
What was annoying?
Punisher.
This is I don't know what their deal with this is, but like it seems to be like the people that work for Disney love doing this, but everyone knew they were killing Kamala to bring her back as a mutant. We all knew that because like they did it in the show, so that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when they announced like here's her new comic, Kamala, we meant to do this the whole time. We wanted her to be a mutant from the beginning. No, you didn't, or you'd have made her a mutant. You know, like
Yeah.
they update a ride at their theme park. Oh, we're doing this because X, Y, and Z. No, you're not. You're doing it because the ride's 40 years old and people update rides regularly anyways. Thank you for updating it. It should be fun.
Yeah.
Like, quit acting like quit acting like your customers are stupid. That's my thing. Don't treat us like we're stupid. That's why you don't get my money.
I don't know what the hell's going on at Marvel Comics, man, but it's not solid. And then the whole thing with the Punisher. Who's going to be the next Punisher?
Punisher's there. What's going on with Punisher?
No, apparently they killed Punisher in his last run or something.
Absolutely not. Jason Aaron's Punisher run was flawless. I read it. I picked up every issue. Homie, you can type on that keyboard, or I can just tell you straight from the horse's mouth. Frank Castle walked off at the end of that series. He bested him. They freed him of the demon. He used the fist of the beast for the hand. They pretty much exorcised him. His wife is back. They reconciled the deaths of their children that he's never gotten over, and she left him because of his war on man versus like this isn't what our kids would want kind of thing. And he left. Like he's on the lam right now. They don't know where he is. He's in a dreamscape kind of deal, and he's actually like he was ushering some kids to safety the last time you saw him.
Alan, share my screen. Okay, so I misread it. So they said the figurative death of Punisher.
Oh my god!
In the article, but look, so this is what they're doing right now, and this is supposed to be revealed at San Diego Comic-Con.
It's Deadpool.
I don't know, dude. People were saying Drax.
Time out. Look at the guns. Look at the guns. Who draws guns like that? That looks like Rob Liefeld's artwork.
I don't know, man. I mean, we don't get feet, so there's that.
Yeah, and look at the guns. That's like Cable style guns. Look, yo, that's dude. If we get Cable's Punisher, that would be dope.
I'm gonna say either.
I wouldn't buy it, but that would be dope.
No, it's probably what's his name? Fuck, Bullseye. Some dumb shit like Bullseye, Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know. Man, I tell you, I wish I was here.
Will you just Google Rob Liefeld Punisher and see if it even pulls anything related to that image?
Yeah,
because that looks like Rob Liefeld artwork to me.
Let's see, Punisher. I wish I could go to San Diego Comic-Con and just stand in the line to ask CB Cebulski here, aka Kiro Yoshida, why that some bitch hates Peter Parker. Oh God, that looks terrible. Oh, let me share it. There we go. Look at this. Good Lord. There's you some Liefeld Punisher for you, Mark.
Oh, he can draw. Alan, have you flipped through the interiors of Batter Blood yet?
No,
That's his current Deadpool series. You want to see like probably the best work of his career is on the inside of that book right now. It is.
His covers look good.
Yeah, dude, he's a phenomenal artist. There's no denying it.
No. I just wish he wouldn't have left his booger sugar at the White House.
You're telling
Yeah.
me that's just not amazing of the Shield. If it wasn't for this glorious character right here, drawn by the amazing Liefeld, you wouldn't even have Captain America. Because Captain America was a direct ripoff of the Shield, all the way down to his origin and everything.
I think we really need Dustin on here for that comment.
No, it's not a comment; it's a fact.
So I'm not a fan of this Wolverine cover to the right, but the Deadpool one looks great. I think the one to the right looks far too blocky on the chin.
And don't get me wrong, Alan. I like me some Captain America a lot, but that's just comics history for you. Took the serum, the bad guys busted in, killed the scientist that gave him the serum. It gave him the super soldier ability. Same exact origin.
Oh,
And
look how he
instead of
says
Vita rays, it was different kind of light rays, but all the way down to it.
See, I'm just not that big of a Captain America fan. I mean, that's one of those, if that's your deal, if that's what you like, I mean, by all means, it's your money and, enjoy your comics.
But what if Rob Liefeld draws them?
Well, see, like, even then, I mean, his little wings on top of his head look like a ripoff of Thor's wings.
Hey,
Thor's were bigger.
so last thing, and then I got to jump off. Mark, have you seen the new DC show on Max? It's about DC villains.
The new DC show on Max about DC. You talking about the new documentary that came out?
I think it's a documentary. Yeah, something.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think it's limited to the villains. They were advertising it. I shared a post about it. I haven't watched it yet, but you're the third person that asked me if I've watched it.
Superpowered. That's what it is. There's a villain one's on there from years ago, is what I was thinking of, but this one just came out. 3 action-packed hours.
Mm-hmm.
Comprehensive inside look at DC iconic.
I mean, you got like big wigs on there weighing in, like I believe Guns on there. The Rock is in there.
Yeah,
I'm talking, that's how new it is and how relevant it is.
yeah. Well, the first one's old pedo Gun on there. I'm probably not going to watch it then because he's the thumbnail there.
All right, you said you had to jump off?
Speaking of that, Nick, have you watched Sound
Yes.
of Freedom yet?
No, not yet.
I want to see that so bad. I cannot
I-
see straight.
I don't know if I have the stomach to watch.
It's not
something like
it's
that.
not graphic in nature
Yeah.
whatsoever, but it is heartbreaking in scenes.
That's what
But-
I'm saying. Now that I'm a father, anything that has to do with children or like anything, it could be positive things like at the end of Endgame, whenever Tony passes, the whole I
Yeah,
love you
love you
3000 and the hamburger
3000.
and the hamburger scene.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm sitting in there, I was so pumped, and then I'm just sitting there like trying not to freaking cry my eyes out because I just had
Mhm.
my kid, and like I'm like, I'm not crying. And there was one night Dustin and I were talking about it after the movie had come out, and I was sitting there talking about it. And I literally had to stop talking because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna start crying sitting there just
Yeah.
looking at that scene.
Kids done made me soft as well. Dude, I cried during
can't do it.
Avatar because of the whole family and kid angle. I don't know if you watched that yet, but it's
Yeah,
that was
See, that
heartbreaking in the end when
that one didn't touch me like that though, which
you know what
kind of
got
shocked me.
me? What got me was after the death of his son, and they go back to get his daughter, and Jake pretty much drowns underwater.
Yeah,
When his son brings him up and he comes back to life, the first words out of his mouth were Natalium. Like in that moment, like, oh my God.
See,
Like, 'cause,
I
like,
was
in his subconscious, he was already like already thinking about
Yeah.
the loss of his son as he's dying. And then at the end, when they plug back into the tree to go see his son again, he's like, "What's wrong, Dad?" And he's just like, "Nothing." I'm like, God.
See, I was
Yeah.
fine with the boy, but when we had the girl, that took me to like a whole new level of being a candy ass.
Yeah, I got
So-
both now.
Yeah, something about having a girl just completely and totally just changed me to my core.
Well, it completely
Yeah.
rounds you out. You have all those specific emotions and specific attachments that are they're attached to having a father-son relationship and then a father-daughter. So you have that protector, that guider, that softie who sits down and lets them do your hair. Not yours in this case, Alan. You don't have any hair, but
she would do my nails.
But yeah, dude, I completely get it. Mine are my oldest daughter is about to be 16 in a couple weeks here, and then
Shit.
Finn's about to turn 6 toward the end of the year, and Monkey's 3. So there's all over the place. Emotional wreck over here. My daughter pulled up 2 Fridays ago in her first car.
No, I'm not ready for all that. My daughter just turned 4, and I'm like, you need to slow the hell down. I'm gonna fight you.
I look at my kids every day and think that, like, and it's not even like I'm mad. It's legitimately heartbreaking. Like, you just look at them out of nowhere and you just get nostalgic and you're just like,
yeah. All the pictures started popping up of memories when she.
I hate those.
born.
I don't even open them anymore. I don't even look at them because the phone, Google will automatically like package them and put like some kind of sad. Yeah, I'm like, I can't do this. It's 4 o'clock at work. I got a few more hours to go. Yeah. Why is this happening right now?
3rd of July rolled around, and that started popping up. I'm like, you motherfucker! I'm about to sit here and start crying. Yeah, like, I am.
It's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. Why'd you send me this, Google?
It's stupid, man.
And then they'll follow it up with order the photo album now. I'm like, no.
Has anybody ever in their life order a photo album from Google Photos?
Yeah, I did. They're fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Just like back because I've been rocking with Google for a long time. Like,
yeah.
I've been like a YouTube Red like first month subscriber. I'm grandfathered in at like the $9.99 rate still, and they haven't even gone up on me. They've sent me free Google Home speakers for being a long time, like all kinds of stuff. So when they first did the photo album, like when it first happened, I ordered one just to see how it would be. It was like I think it was like $20, and it came in. It was nice. It was solid, and I didn't customize it or any of that like you can do. I just took the generic one that they offered. It was really cool.
So 4 years. Oh, sorry. It's all the baby bottles and stuff like that we used to.
I'm not looking at that. They're not even my bottles. That'll make me sad.
Look, it's like just all of them from having to clean and wash them and stuff like that.
Goodness.
I hate Google. And that just popped up. That was 4 years ago. I mean, look at that. Look at all those dang bottles. Ridiculous.
That's how my wife is. She loves her some bottles.
Man. Anywho's.
Well, I know Nick said he had to go, so we can go ahead and call it a night, and then Mark can go spend some time with his kids. Hey,
yeah, I got to go pack. I'm leaving for the beach tomorrow.
Oh, well, dude, thanks for jumping on and taking the time.
Absolutely, man. I always enjoy talking to you guys. Man.
We're going to have to do this again one night when we get everybody on. But until then, guys, we are.
Hey, I'll come back on when you have Howard Chaykin on again.
Oh, no, that's not happening.
Dang. That was rough.
Yeah, that was rough. We are 15 subscribers away from 500. So y'all hit that subscribe button.
He found Blackcock.
Dude, I love Howard Chaykin's work. I've been on Howard Chaykin stuff since I was a kid because of my dad, like American Flag. And dude, if it wasn't for Howard Chaykin, we would not have people like Alan Moore. They were just chasing Chaykin. That's all they were doing.
Here's my thing about Chaykin. He was great listening to when he was talking about the layout of the page and, when he was actually talking about comics. But
y'all made like that was all right. That was on y'all. I hate to say it, but that was on y'all. Y'all mentioned Star Wars to the guy. Y'all brought him on for Star Wars Day. He hates Star Wars.
Who would have known that? I would.
Everyone who knows Howard Chaykin or has ever watched interviews on him.
I honestly had no clue.
And it was Star Wars Day too. I'm like, I've got to watch this right now.
That's the whole reason they did it. I think
they didn't tell him that until he got there. He was like, "Wait, are y'all serious?" I'm like, no,
I think it just happened that way. I think it was just coincidence because we were joking around about it because there was a legitimate Star Wars question that I think that Josh wanted to ask him. I could give a shit less about the idiosyncrasies of the colors of lightsabers. I just want to get funny.
But you know what's funny is even if y'all knew that going into it, asking that question to get that response was still 100% worth it for anyone who's not watched an interview with him before, Dude, because you get his honest take on why he problems he has with the industry, how they treat people, what they do with stuff. He has nothing against the concept of Star Wars. He just has everything in the world against carbon copy cloning cheap bullshit hollow properties that just people just eat up like mindless idiots.
Hey,
And that I can appreciate.
Star Wars is not for mindless idiots. Okay?
It's not, but that's who Disney makes it for now.
It's now. It's for the cultured
Yeah.
folks. The original. The new stuff doesn't exist. I'm good with like Mando season 1, season 2.
And if you would have listened to what Chaykin said, that's what his criticism was about. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I will tell you, I was that guy that had no clue anything about Chaykin other than he did Star Wars.
So you were just blindsided.
So I was
Yeah,
like,
me and my
oh,
boy
this dude is
Becker-
hilarious.
I saw that y'all had him on, like, oh God. And I watched y'all because normally, like, I've seen you like have people on and you're asking the question, getting on, like, yo, do they know Chaykin? I'm like, we've got to go watch this now. Like,
Dude,
this is-
it went from this is funny to holy shiitake mushrooms.
But just for a brief, it
It's
switched
horrible.
over to a fantastic conversation. Like he said, he started talking about the panel. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God, this is
It
why you
turned-
invite
but
guests.
That first couple of minutes, I'm literally sitting there and I'm thinking he's joking around. But then it was like it clicked, and I'm sitting there like, he's dead serious.
100% serious. That's
Yeah.
what's so funny.
And
I
then,
was
but
offended.
once everything changed and he started actually talking about, laying out the panels and stuff, it was great. It
Go
was just
check
having-
out his Shadow mini series that he did. He did like a 4-issue Shadow series.
Yeah.
Dope.
I have to check that one out.
Yeah, he's done some good mini, like Black Hawk was a mini series. The Shadow American Flag's like a long run. He's the one that broke the limitations of panels. Like when you started seeing like characters like extend beyond panels and flow into the next one. Like you have your panel borders and literally people outside. That's him, man. That's him.
Yeah,
I
dude,
have to check that out.
I was shocked. But anyways, fellas, like I was texting Josh and Alan. I was like, okay, I like this dude. He's funny. And then I immediately started going into, no, this dude's an a-hole. Y'all really putting up with this? Oh, hell no.
Nick literally sends me a text message in the middle of the stream and goes, I think he's serious.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and the longer he went, I was actually in. Josh wasn't saying anything. My hand was on the trigger. I was ready to kill the stream. I mean, just to kill his stream. Well, then he calmed down and settled in, and it was like, oh, okay, that's great. Hey, what's up, Kyle? It's good to see you.
Kyle.
What's up, bro?
Yep. All right, guys. Y'all take it easy.
Yeah, I'm about to
All
go
right.
watch the Y-Files. It's Thursday night. Y-Files is on.
All right, you have fun at the beach, Nick.
What is on?
Please tell me you've heard of the Y-Files.
Dude, if it's not Bluey or Spidey and his amazing friends, I don't watch it. But it sounds like there's something serious
Oh
happening.
no, that's just Monkey. She's already her and Finn are in there playing this clockwork every 37 minutes.
All right, well,
Right. The
Mark,
Y-Files is a show on YouTube hosted by this guy named AJ where he covers all kinds of crazy, obscure, wild, interesting, intriguing, controversial topics, and he does them in the most entertaining and fun way you can possibly think about. His channel exploded to a couple million viewers in a very short time. It's hilarious. He goes through all kinds of stuff and lays out the story with all the information we have and debunks them by the end if they're capable of being debunked, and shows you why the verdict's still out on stuff from the moon landing to aliens to ancient history stuff to any topic you can think of that's interesting to time travel and stuff. He's covered it and it continues to cover it. Crop circles,
it's called the Y-Files.
yeah, WHY, the Y-Files.
Okay.
He's doing the moon landing tonight finally, which is crazy to think this is the first time he's touching on it. So I'm sure he'll get into all the stuff where NASA actually doctored photos and stuff, which that's him.
I'm
Yeah,
going to share this with my wife because she's a big conspiracy theorist.
I promise you will love this.
And
All
what do
right,
you
I
call
just
it? So,
subscribed to him.
so I went to the Denver airport and got stuck
That's
there.
an entire episode on that as well.
And she told me about this, the whole lizard people and all this other shenanigans and the oh shit, what are they?
The big blue bull at the entrance, and
Yeah, all this weird stuff. The shapes of the runways, like in a Nazi symbol. And so I'm flying from San Jose to Denver, and I'm watching this. I'm like, dude, this shit is wild. And then I'm getting stuck there for like 30 hours.
Oh,
Just
man.
United.
Stuff everywhere. When you watch the video,
Oh,
you'll
man.
see a lot of stuff that was put there at the start of the airport, which they've altered since all the pushback and everything from the weird murals and everything. I can open your Capri Sun, but one of the wildest things is what's beneath it. What like because the space that it takes up where they put it, it's clearly like not conspiracy wise, but it's clearly like a classified Fallout location as well. You know what I'm
Something
saying?
weird, man.
Well, I mean,
Yep.
like not weird, not conspiracy, but it's clearly a classified Fallout location.
Yeah.
Like when something
All the
happened,
tunnels.
instead of the
and-
president going to the mountain, whatever mountain it was, he went to Denver Airport. And we don't talk about that, but it's clearly just has like underground fallout shelter place for VIPs attached to it.
Hmm.
And that a lot of the weirdness of construction that goes into keeping a secret has really sparked a lot of the conspiracies about it.
I love a good conspiracy theory. Whilst I don't believe in basically. Okay. All right. So I know we've gotten off topic and I got to go. Whilst I historically have never believed or found much,
Value.
value in the conspiracy theories, as the last couple of years have concluded, I'm starting to go, you know
Why
what?
are all these true all of a sudden?
There's a lot of terrible shit that we've been told is fine and you're good. And, this is the best for you guys. That turns out it's not exactly that. And then, so my worldview is slowly coming around to, I think everything's just, we're full of shit on everything.
Yeah, I don't believe anybody anymore about
Yeah.
anything.
I like sometimes I feel like I'm starting to turn into one of the tinfoil hats, and then next thing you know, something pops up that like people were saying is a conspiracy theory, and
Well, you
turns out
can
it's
go
true.
to the Wi-Fi merch. Just Google it. You can get you a tinfoil hat T-shirt.
I'm gonna go down here and I'll probably put it on so my wife can listen to it and watch it whilst I read a comic book. And then
Yeah,
maybe we'll have
you won't
some
be able
talk
to.
about it.
He's such an engaging storyteller, and he is like probably one of the deepest researchers you'll find because he has a team. He did other stuff in the industry, like the entertainment industry, before this, so he has an actual team. His wife is part of the behind the scenes of this guy named Gino. Because here recently he started doing an after file show, a live stream show, just hanging out after an episode airs. And
That's what I saw.
yeah, dude, it's just quality. To be honest with you, it's
Well-
entertaining and quality. Some stuff he's gonna make you sad. Oh, I wish that was true. And some stuff you're like, yo, we couldn't debunk that one. Like, can you try again, please?
Yeah. For his sake, I hope he doesn't do anything on the Clintons. I hope he's not trying to get
Oh
suicide.
no, and he's talked about that too. There's a lot of topics that people request that he cannot touch due to the platform that he's on. He's not.
YouTube will kick him off immediately.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the Denver airport video before it finished airing got demonetized.
What a bunch of horse crap, man.
Wow.
So you're eating
Anyways,
turkey.
And for a guy who puts out one video a week that at least the 4 people I know of eat off of, to have a video get demonetized, that's detrimental.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That's why memberships and stuff
Nick.
like that are such an important thing.
Try not to break anything at the shop this weekend.
Bye-bye,
Mark, have a good weekend at the.
I'll take it easy.
brother.
y'all.
See ya. I got one final video to play, and then I will be out of here too. Where'd that video go? And here it goes.
Question.